who had a manager handling his affairs. One day, a report came that the manager was wasting the employee's money. So the employee called him in and said, "What is this I hear about you? Get your reports in order because you are going to be fired." The manager thought to himself, "Now what? My boss has fired me. I don't have the strength to dig ditches, and I'm too proud to beg. I know how to ensure that I have plenty of friends who will give me a home when I'm fired." So he invited each one who owed money to his employee to come and discuss the situation. He asked the one, "How much do you owe him?" The man replied, "I owe 800 gallons of olive oil." So the manager told him, "Take this bill and quickly change it to 400 gallons. "And how much do you owe my employee?" he asked the next man. "I owe him 1,000 bushels of wheat." Was that the reply? "Here," the manager said, "take the bill and change it to 800 bushels. The rich man had to admire the dishonesty of the rascal for being so shrewd. And it's true that the children of this world are shrewd in dealings with the world around them. They are the children of the light. Here are the lessons. Under your worldly resources to benefit others and make friends. Then, when your possessions are gone, they will welcome you to the eternal home. If you are faithful in little things, you will be faithful in large ones. But if you are dishonest in little things, you won't be honest in great responsibilities. If you are untrustworthy about worldly wealth, who will trust you with the true riches of heaven? And if you are not faithful with other people's things, why should you be trusted with the things of your own? No one can serve two masters, for you will hate one and love the other. You will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and be enslaved to money. The title today: A Dishonest Manager and an Unfaithful Supervisor. The Almighty Dollar. This week's sermons focus on an account of the parable of the shrewd manager. First, we will begin with what is to be a shrewd person by defining having a slow or quick aware of resources, especially in practical matters. Some translation has it headed "The Parable of the Dishonest Manager," while the other has it as "The Parable of the Shrewd Manager." But whatever you call it, Jesus had a purpose in this parable. He did in every parable. Jesus used natural things that we are familiar with to teach us Bible principles in a way that made it easier to understand. And so this is the parable of the shrewd or dishonest manager with a verse by verse commentary. First, I'd like to elaborate on this a little bit from first-hand experience. You know, in my life, matter of fact, on a job that I had once in life. We had one of those managers that were dishonest, and he did all kinds of things to make your life difficult on the job. He double talk, if you know what I mean. Tell you one thing one day, and the next day is something different. He when he needed you, you was the greatest employee in the world, and then when he was mad with you, you was nothing. It's kind of remind me of this situation that we're talking about here this morning. About the dishonest manager and the unsaved supervisor. So the manager would use his supervisor to do all this dirty work. You know what I mean? Like this rascal here in this text today. But not to dwell on that so long, I just wanted to emphasize that in life you will meet people that fits these principles that we are speaking on here this morning. You will meet people that you would think would have your best interests at heart, that you thought that you could trust, that you would hire and put in positions that you wouldn't ordinarily put anybody in, because you would think that they had your best interests at heart, until one day you find out that they are conniving, dishonest, untrustworthy, and they're taken away from you. How about that? Amen. Amen. So Jesus told this story to his disciples. There was a certain rich man who had a manager handling his affairs, an accountant or business manager. One day, a report came that the manager was wasting his employees' money. So the employee called him in and said, "What is this I hear about you? Get your report in order, because you are going to be fired." This man must have been fired for a very good reason. The change we brought to him, that this man was wasting his possessions, but nothing was ever said that indicated that he was actually guilty of the charge. But since the man didn't argue for his case, we can assume that he was guilty as charged. In Luke verse 3 and 4, and the manager said to him in thinking, "What shall I do? Since my master is taking the management away from me, I am not strong enough to dig, and I am ashamed to beg. I have to decide what to do." Amen? So that when I am removed from management, people may receive me into their house. This man apparently had never worked at physical labor since he wasn't strong enough to dig, and his pride prevented him from begging. So he thinks of a way to have people receive him in their house, meaning that he wouldn't have to be homeless. If his ideas work. Verse 5 through 7. Wait a minute. Amen. Amen. So his master's debtors, one by one, had said to him first, you must do your own. How much do you owe? Oh, wait a minute, excuse me. How much do you owe my master? And he said, hundreds measures of oil, he said to him. Take your bill, sit down quickly, and write 50. Then he said to another, and how much do you owe? And he said, 100 measures of wheat. And he said to him, Take the bill and write 50. Those measures are no small amount because one measure of oil equal to 875 gallons and 100 measures of wheat. Wheat is between 1,000 and 1,200 bushels. So this man is talking about a very large sum of money. Amen. They may have been negotiations on the manager's part in collecting these bills for his master, and may have been part of the reason that he was fired. So he decided to cut the bills down, which caused those who are debtors to the master to pay up. Luke 16:8 and 9. The master commanded the dishonest manager. Commanded the dishonest manager for his shrewdness. For the sons of this world are most shrewd in dealing with their own generation than sons of light. And I'll tell you, make friends for yourselves by means of unrighteous wealth, so that when it falls, they may receive you unto the eternal dwelling. Amen? Amen. Amen. Getting hot up here. Oh. So now, I ask the question, can you buy your way into heaven? Well, almost. Contemporary readers suggested, with the notion that Jesus would draw a positive lesson from a negative example. A corrupt businessman is terminated but gives a few days to clean out his debts. He used the time to cheat his boss in order to secure his own financial future. Amen. Jesus does not command the initial corruption which got the man fired. He called the servant dishonest. Amen. Oh man, I got my... In conclusion, for Jesus to draw parallel between money and management and the spiritual service of God, give riches to another potential misapplication. Both money and God. Jesus here makes pomp on a preceding parable. So Jesus warned his followers and us that in reality, one cannot serve two masters. We cannot devote ourselves both to money and to God. Amen. At this time, we'd like to open up